Iconography books are a little bit different than the religious context in art history. There are a number of iconography books that are essential. Now, when it comes to mandalas, there are certain books which are absolutely, you must have them for reference. And that's how you use them as reference books. And one of those for mandalas is called Tibetan Mandalas, then in brackets here, Vajravali and Tantra-samuccaya. And it's by Raghuvira and Lokesh Chandra. I'm not sure of the exact date, but I believe it's part of the Shatapitika series, so that's back in the late 50s, early 60s. And I believe this new publication would have been done in the 90s based on those earlier works. It's not a very large book. It's quite thin, actually. And it's fairly easy to acquire out of Indian bookshops, booksellers. So this book is giving both images of the mandalas of the Vajravali and the Tantra-samuccaya, but also it's listing out the deities as they appear. Now, it's far more detailed with the Vajravali, and as many of you know, the Vajravali was a text by Abhayakaragupta back in the 11th century, and it is a foundational text for the understanding of mandalas for the majority of scholars in the West and in Japan, Korea, China. Modern scholars of Buddhism, then the Vajravali, because it's easily accessible. It has a couple of subtexts in Nishpana Yogavali, the Jyotirmanjari. So there are some other texts that can go with it. Now, the Vajravali, it's not clear as to the number. Some people say it's 27. Other people raise the number of mandalas up to 45 when you count all the variations of the different mandalas, plus adding two at the end. I believe from the Nishpana Yogavali, there's two additional mandalas that can be added to the Vajravali. So this book also contains the Tantra-samuccaya. Tantra-samuccaya is a fancy Sanskrit name for the Gyude Kuntu. It's a publication, I believe 32 volumes out of Tibet in the, I guess it's the late 19th century by Jamyang Khyentse Wangpo and his principal student Lothair Wangpo. And it contains several hundred mandalas, and now, not all of them, all of the principal ones are in this text by Raghuvira and Lokesh Chandra. So it's a very important text for studying mandalas in modern times because it's a relatively modern book, being late 19th century. So this publication is one of those that you must have. It's an essential reference. Now, there are probably 3 or 4 more essential publications for the study of mandalas. Now, you don't have to own all of these books, but you have to be aware of them. You have to have some kind of access or limited access to them. You must know where they are when you need them. So Tibetan mandalas, easily obtained, not overly expensive, and full of rich information. Another great publication by Lokesh Chandra. So press a like button. You can subscribe. You can ask questions. You can join HAR on Patreon, and you can also donate directly on the Himalayan Art Resources website, because we are actually a not-for-profit organization based out of the United States of America. So donations are tax deductible for Americans.